Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. It says, "And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters." Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Man, that's strong stuff there. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm just going to. The pastor didn't read, but I want to go ahead and read just a little bit. In fact, I ask you guys to read just a little bit. And this stuff really is pretty. We've covered most everything that's in here, and so really we're going to recover what we've covered before. So I know it sounds kind of, if you hadn't read any of the previous 16 chapters and you got here, you'd be completely lost. There's just no question about it. But we are here, and we're not lost.
That's right.
And so, but I'm going to start back here, Robert. If you would, I want to let you read. Well, let's just read down to verse 6. So, Robert, you do 1, Debbie 2, Sherry 3, Jimmy 4, Mary 5, and John 6. How about that?
Revelation 17?
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
The kings of the world have committed adultery with her, and the people who belong to this world have been made drunk by the wine of her immorality.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth.
And I saw the woman drinking with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great moderation.
All right, so we're going to do verse 1 and verse 2, and we're going to slowly do verse 1 and verse 2. Elizabeth, if you would, don't read all of verse 1, just read the first sentence in verse 1.
And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither.
So, all right, so who is what angels are we talking about here? So it said one of the seven angels. What seven angels? What seven angels? What 7 angels are we talking about? Huh?
The seals are, what's that thing about the seals in the ocean? Revelation, maybe I'll have to play.
Anybody got what 7 angels?
The ones that we read in chapter 16, that's the ones.
The same, one of the 7 angels that poured out the 7 bowls of God, which are the wrath of God. So one of those 7, it doesn't tell us which one, it could have been the 7th one, it could have been the first one. One of those 7 angels, it said, it came over and talked to me. Who's me? John, let's not forget who we're talking about here. So one of the 7 angels came over and talked to John the Revelator, the guy that's writing this. And he said, Come with me, he said, and I will show you the judgment that is going to come on the great prostitute who rules over many waters. Wow. We'll get to, if you got anybody want to give a wild guess who the great prostitute is, or who the many waters is, we'll throw that out there. Anybody want to give a wild guess on who that is?
Vegas.
Huh?
Vegas.
Vegas?
Vegas for everything.
That's
Crazy City, Babylon, and everything is Vegas.
That's close enough. That's close.
Sin City.
How about the many waters? All right, we'll go down. And the kings of the world have committed adultery with her. Who's the kings of the world? Come on, Robert. You know who the kings of the world are? Anybody know?
BB,
Huh?
Putin,
Putin?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Bezos.
If we were talking about the kings of the world today, the people that are controlling this world today, the people that are in charge today, who's in charge? Now I'm talking about, we know Jesus Christ is in charge, but who's running things today? Huh? President? Who else? Big tech company guys are running things, right? Bezos or whatever their names are, kings of other countries, Putin in Russia. What's the guy's name in China? What's his name?
Kim something.
Something. I don't know what his name is.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah,
Kim Jong-il.
something like that. So when it says, now this is our time, but now we're talking about during church. So it says, when the kings of the world have committed, the kings of the world are the people that are in control of this world. And in control, the guy that runs Google, or the guy that runs Facebook, or the guy that runs, when you're talking about industry, the guy that runs Amazon. Or if you're talking about countries, the guy that runs England, or the guy that runs France, or the guy that runs Saudi Arabia, and he is a king. The guy that runs Canada, the guy that runs Russia. See? So that's what they're talking about. And it said, what was it? They, the kings of the world, had committed adultery, and the people who belong to this world have been made drunk with the wine of her immorality. Who are the people that belong to this world? Huh? Unsaved people. Good job, Robert. That we belong to the heavenly world. But the people who belong to this world are the unsaved. All right, let me read what I've got down here. We'll try to get this to go together. The great prostitute, or the great whore. Wow. It is in reality It is really and truly any religion that is not Christianity. This includes the church that remained after the rapture, the many waters of the different groups of people and or different countries that are controlled by religions that are not Christianity. Even though this is false religion, the Antichrist does not want it in existence because he wants everybody to worship him exclusively. So, the great whore, the great prostitute is false religion. Now, can you name me some false religions?
Catholic. Mormons. Jehovah's.
Very good. Guys are just throwing it right out there.
Islam.
Hindu.
So, the great prostitute we see here is, oh boy, there's a good picture. Wow. We'll get to that picture in a minute. The great prostitute is any religion that's not Christianity. Anyone that serves another God, or what so-called God, that is not the God of heaven, is not, and anybody that says you can get to heaven by any other way than by Jesus Christ. So here in chapter 17, these things are being called out. God is not playing anymore, and we're going to get down to it a little bit more. These things are being called out. Any religion that is not, that worships another God besides the Heavenly Father, God Almighty, any religion that claims you can go to heaven any other way besides through Jesus Christ, this is that false religion. This is that whore. This is that prostitute. And the many waters are any peoples, countries, nations that believe in, trust in, obey some other religion that isn't Christianity. And the kings of this world that serve, profit by, promote this false religion, this false idea that these things are okay. Now, we've got a lot of promotion going on. If you was here Sunday morning, the pastor was teaching about some of the things that are being promoted out there in this world today that are anti-biblical, which would be anti-Christ. Amen. If it's against the Bible, it's against Christ. So these people that are promoting this anti-Christian behavior, these are these kings of this world, see? Now think about that. God is not playing any longer. So now we're going to get a little bit further. So you see this scarlet woman. We'll put it like that. That's false religion, guys. And you see this false religion. You see this person riding this beast. Now, how many heads does this beast have? 7 heads. What do you think those 7 heads are going to represent? We'll get to it. What do you think they're going to represent? I'm going to go back there and holler at Robert in a minute. Robert knows the answer. He just won't holler it out. What do you think those 7 heads represent? I'll have to get to it. I'm not going to preempt this thing. But think about this. Who's in control here? Let me put it like that. She's on top of the beast. Who's controlling this thing? The woman or the beast? Who's in control? The woman. Thank you. If you're on top of the horse, you're in control of the horse, right? You know, if she's riding the beast, she's controlling that thing. Well, now, if the beast wants to be controlled, that's fine. But now Satan, does the Antichrist want somebody else to be worshipped besides him? No, see. So we're going to find in this chapter where the Antichrist is actually going to be against false religion because he doesn't want anything else worshipped but himself. Now, we won't get to that tonight, of course. It's way off down there in the last chapter, or the last verse, or whatever. But so
that almost sounds like a one world religion.
That
almost sounds like that's what that, like you take all these different false religions and either you combine them or obliterate them, whichever way, and you bring them together or separate them. I don't know which way you want to do that.
Yeah, so right now, this false religion is controlling this beast and this 7 heads or 7 kingdoms or 7 kings or 7 people of authority. So, of course, the woman's in control. Right? So name me any country just off the top of your head where religion controls that country.
Iran.
Thank you. Iran, Iraq. Yes, countries like we know religion controls their country. Their head is a priest or a minister, and that country's controlled. Well, in tribulation times, several countries are going to be controlled by religion. See, if you was in China, what would your religion be? Buddha. Who said Buddha? Thank you very much. If you was in India, what would your religion be? Hindu. Who said Hindu?
Hindu. Good job back there.
If you was in Iran, what would your religion be?
Islam.
Yeah, I mean, so there are all kinds of countries that have different religions. See, okay.
Rome. What Rome would it? I don't know. Anyways, chapter 17.
So Elizabeth said it a while ago.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, Elizabeth said it.
That was the first thing.
Yeah, but you didn't know you gave the right answer, but you did.
Oh, Catholic.
Oh!
No.
It's popular for some reason. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you want to flip the switch down there on the bottom and just kill it for right now. Yeah, I know what's in it. Thank you.
So we have a woman. We have 7 kings. Now look at is that right as far as the? Oh yeah. So they have 7 nations. Now some of these heads have 1 horn, and some of the horns there's 2 horns. Wow, why would that be? How many horns is there? Can you count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 horns. 7 heads with 10 horns. Oh, mysterious. Ha-ha! All right, where are we at? Did you read, Elizabeth? Yes, you read. Just a little bit. Okay, so I'll start with you then, Elizabeth, and let you read verse 3.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw the woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names and blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
All right. So the angel took me. Who's me? Where did he take me? Well, first of all, where's John? Where am I? I'm John. Where am I? No, that's not John. That's very good, Elizabeth. Where is John at? Huh? He was on the island of Patmos. That's right.
That's a good answer.
He was on the island of Patmos, but from the island of Patmos, where did he go to?
He got caught up somewhere and he was moving around.
What'd you say, Robert? John says, Robert said John's in heaven. So the angel took me in the spirit into the wilderness. So John is in heaven and the angel takes him to the wilderness. Where do you think the wilderness is at?
Well, you know, there was this one man that went out in the wilderness for like 40 days, tempted by the devil. He was out in the wilderness.
For a while.
The wilderness.
You think there's wilderness in heaven? No. Nay.
Hey, I know that guy.
No. When Christ was caught out into the wilderness, 40 days and 40 nights, was he in heaven? No. The wilderness ain't in heaven. So John is taken somewhere besides heaven, and so out there he's in heaven. So it says, there I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast. There I saw, where was I? There I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that had 7 heads and 10 horns, and blasphemies against God were written all over her. Okay, we'll read what I got in verse 3. The woman represents Babylon, the city that rules the world with false religion. Babylon will not only be commercial capital of the world, but also the religious capital of the world. It's going to get there. God calls us the church, the bride of Christ. What's he call this woman here?
Well, I don't like to say it.
Prostitute.
That's pretty good.
Oh, now think about this now, guys. Because it goes, oh my sakes, there she is.
It's a different beast.
That's a different beast.
One head with 10 horns.
That was the leopard. Someone really does think it's Rome, don't they? Anyway, well, yeah. All right. He calls us the bride of Christ. He calls this woman the great prostitute, the whore, or whatever, see? So this is not the church.
Can be.
Okay. The 7 heads, I'm going to have to give me a drink. The 7 heads represent 7 kings. Go to verse 9 there, Cassie.
You may read it?
Yeah, read verse 9.
This calls for a mind with understanding. The 7 heads of the beast represent the 7 hills where the woman rules. They also represent 7 kings.
All right, so verse 9 tells us what this is. And we're going to get to verse 9 and explain a little bit better when we get to verse 9. But the 7 heads represent 7 nations or 7 kings. Refer to verse 9. The 10 horns, Danny, read verse 12. And when we get to verse 12, we'll expand on this. Verse 12.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom, as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
All right. So the 7 heads represent 7 nations and 7 kings. The 10 horns represent 10 nations that weren't here yet. Now we're going to explain these 7 kings better when we get to verse 9, and we're going to explain these 10 horns better when we get to verse 12. But they already tell us what they are, so we don't have to be concerned what they are. Oh my, what is this? No, it tells us what it is. Where do we get the answers to the Bible? In the Bible. Where we get the answers to the Bible in the Bible. Okay, blasphemies. Now listen to this. Any religion that teaches that there is more than one way to heaven, that is blasphemy. Any religion that teaches that Christ is not the only way, that is blasphemy, see? Now, God has played around with these religions, but he's not playing around with them any longer. And he doesn't want you to play around with them, and he doesn't want me to play around with them. We've sort of tiptoed a little bit we're kind of uneasy when we talk against some of these religions. They are right. They're doing their thing. We're doing our thing. We don't want to get involved in what they're doing. We're just do our thing, and we'll leave them alone. No, you leave them alone, they go to hell.
That's the truth.
We can't leave them alone. God did not send us on this earth to leave them alone. God put us on this earth to tell them the truth.
Amen.
And this is what's going on. He's talking the truth now, see? And the truth is coming out. And he's saying, I've got you here as an ambassador for me. You're an ambassador for Christ. You're supposed to tell these people in a loving, kind manner that if they don't change their ways, they're not going to heaven. No matter what other religions say. How do you what? Go ahead, fire away.
How did we go from 7 kings to 10 kings? Did I miss that?
What did she
10
say?
horns.
Go ahead.
It says the seven something also represents the 7 kings. They also represent the 7 kings. And then in 12 it says that there's 10 kings. 10 horns represent 10 kings.
Yeah, now that's
10
7.
horns is 10 kings, and then before that it said 7 kings. How did we go to 10?
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, don't get confused. I said when we get to verse 12, we'll explain verse 12 and we'll get to verse 9.
Okay.
So now we have 7 kings, right? 7 nations that the beast is controlling. You got that? We'll get to that here. We'll get to that when we get. So please don't not come back when we get to that. And we have 10 kings, but they're not really yet. See, those 10 kings are not here yet. But they will be here, and they're going to be here for a short while.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get confused. That's why I said we get to it later. All right. Where was he at? Cassie's red. We'll skip the man run. Do we got any other? Look at this. Do we got any other pictures here?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, come on. There should be a coin or two. Does it have that? All right. Look at this coin. What's this coin say? What do we have on this coin?
Yep.
What coin is that?
It's a euro.
Yeah.
A euro. Who would put blasphemies on a coin? What year is this coin?
2002.
Why would anybody in modern day have a coin with the scarlet woman riding the beast? Why would you do that? Is this coin promoting Christ?
Not at all.
No, not at all. Why would anybody even have that in their pocket? Why would anybody have a coin like that? We got another one?
Yes, sir.
Fire away. What's this coin here? Look at this woman here.
It's a new coin.
She's on many waters. See the water she's on?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that woman on many waters. There's a dragon up there, the lion.
Yeah. It's like
This is a new coin. Why would someone even mint a coin
the beast.
that promoted Revelation chapter 17? Why would anybody want that coin? You know, they say they're going to change money here in the United States.
They talk about it.
Talking about changing money here in the United States. Why would they do that? Why would they deliberately make a coin that represents something that we're supposed to be against? Who's promoting this? Who's doing this?
If I understand correctly, this is the first coin that pictures a woman of color over in Britannia, over in the UK area, over there where, you know, all those kingdoms came together to form one money system and one trading system, and, you know, a bunch of kingdoms came together and they formed. Anyways, so this is a new modern day coin. This isn't 20 years old or something. I mean, this is right now. And so there's a beast on her hat. It's a lion, but still it's a beast. And there's many waters behind them. Now, granted, they're surrounded by waters and you got to travel by stuff. I mean, that's fine. That there is a lot of stuff going on there. But at the same time, when you talk to these people, they know, well, this woman represents this, and this beast represents this, and this symbol represents this, and we support this ancient mythology here and we support this ancient mythology there, and so they know it all symbolizes something and they put it out there as their symbols. Just saying. That's all from over there, across the pond, as they say.
Is this woman a pretty woman? No, he said no, but she looks. I mean, she don't look ugly. She's pretty.
She's a pretty lady.
I mean, it's a nice shiny coin. It's what? Give me the coin previous to that coin. Is it a nice pretty coin? Does it have pretty pictures on it? Yeah, there's a pretty. Is that pretty? See?
Don't zoom in too much. You'll see.
Yeah, don't zoom in too much.
She's scantily clad.
If she's clad at all.
Yeah, she's clad at all.
I mean, why would you have that? But that's what I'm saying. This woman riding on this beast, what was she arrayed with? What was she wearing? Was she pretty? Was she diked out pretty good? Dressed up pretty good? See? Yeah. Did she have it all? Of course she did. See? So the appearance is going to be beautiful. The appeal is going to be great. The desire is going to be there. See? Why? Why in this day and time is any government pushing any religion? Do we have a dollar bill with Jesus Christ on it? What about, do we have one with maybe Noah or Abraham or John the Baptist? Or we don't have any coins representing God. Why are these coins representing the Antichrist? Why are these coins representing the beast? Why is these coins? See, you got to, and see. So this is what's happening in chapter 17. God is opening our eyes to what's going on in this world, and saying, "Get ready." See, and He's going to open our eyes more. And we can't go no further because of the time. But we're going to start with verse 4. But I'm going to answer your questions on what the 10 kings are, who those 10 kings are. I'm going to answer your question who the 7. I want to answer all those questions, because the Bible answers it for us.
That's right.
But see, look where we're at. And we know, guys, we know. Got to watch what you say. Take you off Facebook. Got to watch what you say. Delete your Twitter account. Got to watch what you say, you know. But are we so afraid to say the truth that we're going to get knocked off these things or thrown off these things? We're so afraid that we can't mention other religions or other people and say that's false, you're not going to heaven? Are we so afraid to say this LGBTQ, whatever thing it is wrong, it's against the Bible? Are we so afraid to say that transgenderism, there's no such thing, there's male, there's female? Right. Are we afraid to say that? Are we afraid to tell people in a loving, kind way now to say, guys, that's wrong? Did Jesus run those people out of the temple with a whoop?
He sure did.
Did He love them when He ran them out with a whoop?
He sure did.
Did He want them to go to heaven when He ran them out with a whoop?
Sure did.
Did He care greatly for them? Did He die on the cross for them?
Yeah. Yes, amen.
See? Jesus didn't hate these people. He wasn't, He was doing this in love. See? Sometimes it hurts to tell people the truth. Sometimes love hurts, But you got to tell people the truth, see? So the truth is coming out in chapter 17. Big time. It's going to come out even more, guys. It's coming out. You should love chapter 17. I do. It's coming out because He's calling things out. He's not mixing any words. He's calling things a prostitute or a whore. He's saying people are committing adultery. These are words that the Bible's using, not me. Are we afraid to quote the Bible? Are we afraid to tell people what the Bible says? We shouldn't be, should we?
Shouldn't be.
And may it cost us something, so we get kicked off of Twitter. I went for years in my life, didn't have a Twitter. Didn't know what a Twitter was. And had no idea. I didn't get my first cell phone until I retired in 2017. I lived all my life until I retired before I got my first cell phone. If they take it away from me, I'll just have to go back to a phone, a regular. We've got to start standing up for God, because I've said this before. We want to increase the population of heaven and decrease the population of hell, see? And chapter 17 is doing that, if we allow it to be taught. It's doing that. Now, I don't think it'll be long, guys, so we're not going to be able to teach this stuff publicly, if they get their way. So we're just going to have to teach it privately. We got 3 verses out, but it's great. This is just great stuff. I mean, I can't tell you how overjoyed I am to teach it. I can't get it back in order. Like, I can't tell you. I mean, I really am, because it's great stuff. Because God calls it out, and if God calls it a prostitute or a scarlet woman or a whore, what are we supposed to call it? Thank you. And that's really where we're at. Have I got this thing in order? 4 or 5.
There you
This, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. That's just chapter 17. Wow. That's just chapter 17. Oh, I got to put it back in here. All right. Sorry.
You're good.
Now, guys, I really enjoyed this stuff. It's a wake-up call to all of us. Just to me, too. Because I was the same way. Well, I don't want to offend anybody. Don't want to upset anybody. You know. You think this sounds offensive? Sounds offensive to a lot of people. You think this upsets a lot of people?
Oh, yeah.
You know, in chapter 16, when the hailstones fell on them, what did the people do?
Ooh.
Curse God.
They cursed God. See, you think those hailstones fall on them wasn't offensive? It'd be offensive to me.
A little bit.
What do? They curse God. Now, if they curse God, you think they might curse you?
Of course.
Yeah. So what?
Jesus said it would.
So what? You know. So what if we get cursed? Now, we're not supposed to respond in a negative way. We're supposed to respond in a positive way. But so what? Maybe we can do what the pastor does. You are saved. Jesus does.
Right? That's right. Then you'll get that special finger. Anyways, they return and respond in kind. All right.
I thank you guys. I really thank you. Get this word out. This is very, very, very important word. All this word is a very important word. This is, in this day and time, this is very important. Nobody's teaching Revelations anymore. It's not being taught. And if you pull up online, people say, well, this might mean this, or this might be. No, this is what it means. The Bible tells us, look over in verse 9. Look over in verse 12. It tells us what it means.
Wow.
You know, if it says there's 7 kings, then there's going to be 7 kings. Nobody wants to be that king. It says there's going to be 10 countries, there's going to be 10 countries. Nobody wants to be that country. Wow. But if it says that the world leaders it's going to be the world leaders. Who's the world leaders? We know who the world leaders are. That's what the Bible says, you know. We can't get a save, like, subscribe, share, like, subscribe. I don't know why. Share, like, subscribe, get it out there. Listen, guys, we're getting some thumbs ups. We're getting some hellos. We're getting some thank yous. I sent one to somebody the other day, and she said back, said, thank you, Debbie, for sending that to me. I appreciate it. I don't know how I'll take it. Thank you, Debbie's good enough. So please share it. Get it out there. Thank you very much.